everybody. How's it going?
Well, it's going well for me. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing all right. I guess just trying to get these last buttons hit here.
I
we
know
got
how
we
that
got
is.
notification going out, so people are slowly starting to come on in here. Yeah. I'll tell you what. I hope you people took a look in the description at some of the resource material that we put in there. I told BC when he sent this and I looked at it, I just wanted to go hug my grandkids because I want to crawl back into bed, didn't want nothing to do with nothing. By the time it was all said and done, oh crap, sorry, you're doing one, I'm doing the other. We're typical here, typical, you know what I'm saying? Man, and we got a poll. Go ahead and check that out. Asking if you used AI today. I'm curious to see what the answer to that is. So BC, tell everybody what's going on with you, bud.
Well, I might have the day off work tomorrow, so
Hey,
I'm looking to drop a whole bunch of music on my channel tomorrow. I
nice.
made a new song for my morning show just this morning, and it was well received. So I'm probably gonna put that out on my channel tomorrow, and then make a whole playlist of nothing but my Good Morning Crypto songs that I've done for my show.
Sweet.
And then keep your eye out for a short covering someone's link price prediction.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Is Piper starring in that afterward? Like toward the end after you go through it? He's always talking about that. Yeah, no, far away from that $800 link. If you know.
Yeah, he's the one that pointed out that there was I kind of had to make a new short because I made a short on the last one where I was talking about 400 and some odd dollar link. I was like, okay. And it's like now there's a new video talking about $42 link. I'm like, okay, well, that prediction is more reasonable. Well, why couldn't you have just done that the first time?
Yeah,
You know,
it's not as
look at this.
hyperbolic. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, and Badel is here. Talk to us, bud. How's it going for you today?
Let's go. Another cold day, cold Monday. Think this might be my last stream in the garage.
Oh, moving it back indoors, huh?
Yeah, I mean maybe on Friday I'll be out here for like a little while, but I mean Friday's a high of like 53, and at this time the sun's already going down, so it'll be like 45, 48 on Friday. So
yeah, starting to get a little nipply. Yep. Yep. Facts.
But it was nice to watch that video that BC put in our chat, and if I would have had more time, that was definitely a rabbit hole to go down.
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Well, it's like, so I've seen other videos and like,
yep.
For full transparency, Piper shared that with me. And so I went down it and I'm like, oh, this is a lot of the stuff that I've heard before, because I've done a lot of research into AI. And when AI first came out and people are talking about, like the AI and it's going to be like this and it's going to like think for itself and like, oh, it's gotten so much more. And it's like, bro, it's still just a program at this point. But when we get into these other levels of things, it ceases being just a program and it ends up being living code.
Yep.
And that's that more difference that they're talking about. Right now, we just got chatbots, very, very efficient chatbots that are very good at reading data and regurgitating data. It's like any kid that went through school, and at the end of the day, you ask him what he learned, and he spits it all back out to you. That's what they're doing, except 1 trillion times faster than any human could. So,
and like the better that they get, the smarter they become, and the faster they can do it. And it's just like, I was watching that video, and I was kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, a year and a half ago, like ChatGPT, nobody really used, or if it was even around at that time, I didn't really get the chance to research about it, or, what other AI chatbots most people were using, say, a year and a half ago. And that video, like, and like a year and a half or 2 years is like crazy to think about. But then if you sit back and you think about it and you look at it, you're like, okay, well, we didn't have these AI chatbots, say, a year and a half ago. And look at how far they've advanced in a year and a half year.
Mhm.
Yep.
And like, so like it gets into it, the video. I'm about to drop that link in there.
It is in the description, just so everybody knows. But
Yeah.
yes, please drop it in anyway. And this is the video he's talking about right here. I kind of got it up on the screen. And we might listen to a little bit of it just to kind of prime the pump, as they say. But go ahead, BC.
So like in there, it talks about like the training that goes into making like a super intelligence. And it's quite the same way that they went through making the AI and these chatbots. And like your first models of ChatGPT, you had a limited scope of data and they have internal feedback loops. And so it goes through there and you train it with a reward program. But it's like if you get the answer right, you get the point, and then that model continues. And the ones that failed don't. So like
Right.
what has the most rewards, this is the one that we use, but it ends up training itself, which is why I'm sure we all went through it where we saw those AI pictures where it's hallucinations and there's like
Right.
fingers on one hand and like the old Will Smith videos, with the AI where he's like eating spaghetti and it's all messed up.
Yes.
Well, in a year and a half's time, it's gotten a whole lot better, but there's that internal feedback loop still because it's been training itself. And it kind of gets to that point with super intelligence where it's like once you're actually able to think for yourself and you're thinking way better than any human can, then you're just going to train yourself and do it way better without all these hallucinations because you already have all the external data, but you're able to actually rationalize that external data and use it the way that we do, except way more efficiently.
Right. Facts. I'll tell you what, and the video, the link that BC just put into the chat, and again, it's in the description if you're watching this on the replay, goes into all of that from our current state up and on through to a couple of end scenarios. One of them just, well, neither one of them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just be honest. But yeah, so you if you have not already, you definitely got to go check that out after the stream is over. What do you think, guys? You want to play like the first like 3 or 4 minutes before it gets into that section where kind of stumbling bots and that kind of thing? Just the intro, given the current landscape.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
All right, let me get that up and we'll play that right now.
2027 scenario starts in summer 2025, which happens to be when we're filming this video. So why don't we take stock of where things are at in the real world and then jump over to the scenarios timeline. Right now, it might feel like everyone, including your grandma, is selling an AI-powered something.
Go pro with the new Oral-B Genius AI.
Flippy the chef makes Spud spectacular.
But most of that is actually tool AI, just narrow products designed to do what Google Maps or calculators did in the past, help human consumers and workers do their thing. The holy grail of AI is artificial general intelligence.
AGI, artificial general intelligence,
is a system that can exhibit all the cognitive capabilities humans can.
Creating a computer system that itself is a worker. That's so flexible and capable we can communicate with it in natural language and hire it to do work for us, just like we would a human. And there are actually surprisingly few serious players in the race to build AGI. Most notably, there's Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google DeepMind, all in the English-speaking world, though China and DeepSeek recently turned heads in January with a surprisingly advanced and efficient model. Why so few companies? Well, for several years now, there's basically been one recipe for training up an advanced cutting-edge AI, and it has some pricey ingredients. For example, you need about 10% of the world's supply of the most advanced computer chips. Once you have that, the formula is basically just throw more data and compute at the same basic software design that we've been using since 2017 at the frontier of AI, the transformer. That's what the T in GPT stands for. To give you an idea of just how much hardware is the name of the game right now, this represents the total computing power, or compute, used to train GPT-3 in 2020. It's the AI that would eventually power the first version of ChatGPT. You probably know how that went.
ChatGPT is the fastest growing user-based platform in history. 100 million users on ChatGPT in 2 months.
And this is the total compute used to train GPT-4 in 2023. The lesson people have taken away is pretty simple. Bigger is better, and much bigger is much better.
You have all these trends. You have trends in revenue going up, trends in compute going up, trends on various benchmarks going up. How does it all come together? What does the future actually look like? Questions like how do these different factors interact? Seems plausible that when the benchmark scores are so high, then there should be crazy effects on, jobs, for example, and that would influence politics. And then also, so all these things interact. And how do they interact? Well, we don't know, but thinking through in detail how it might go is the way to start grappling with that.
Okay, so that's where we are in the real world. The scenario kicks off from there and imagines that in 2025, we'd have the top AI labs releasing AI agents to the public in summer. An agent is an AI that can take instructions and go into a task for you online, like booking a vacation or spending half an hour searching the internet to answer a difficult question for you. But they're pretty limited and unreliable at this point. Think of them as enthusiastic interns that are shockingly incompetent sometimes. Since the scenario was published in April, this early prediction has actually already come true. In May, both OpenAI and Anthropic released their first agents to the public. The scenario imagines that OpenBrain, which is like a fictional composite of the leading AI companies, has just trained and released Agent Zero, a model trained on 100 times the compute of GPT-4. We don't have enough blocks for that. At the same time, OpenBrain is building massive data centers to train the next generation of AI agents, and they're preparing to trade Agent 1 with 1,000 times the compute of GPT-4. This new system, Agent 1, is designed primarily to speed up AI research itself. The public will actually never see the full version because OpenBrain withholds its best models for internal use. I want you to keep that in mind as we go through this scenario.
And it gets scarier from there, folks, to be completely honest with you. That's kind of, I think, brings it to where you were just talking. Yep. So maybe we move a little bit from there. Sorry, just listening to it again is already getting my blood pressure going.
So like he really highlights a point there, whereas like this came out before ChatGPT ever released their agent model, right. And I remember when that came out. And he highlights it extremely well. It's like it is like a bit of an intern. You can tell it to answer your emails and it might mess up, yep. But like it'll do research for you so that you don't have to sit there at the computer scrolling through for 30 minutes. And this is all integrated into their latest model of ChatGPT. Yep. And this is kind of that point where he starts getting into it's like, they're going to use the agents to make new agents that end up making AGI. And it ends up ceasing to be just a little bit of a chat bot that you talk to where it reads data and regurgitates it. Now it can read data, actually think about the data and make hypotheses and ideas that we've never even thought of.
Yep. Facts. Like I said, and then from there, it's funny because he mentions exponential growth, even though there's another name for it. But that's what we're going to see, because you've basically got someone that's, 100 million times more intelligent and fast than we are, basically building everything. And it just goes and goes and goes. Good Lord. Again, just thinking about it makes the head kind of go. Poof.
And don't forget, they don't take breaks. They don't need the bathroom. They don't need time to eat, sleep, none of that. Yep. So they're working a million times an hour, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Yep. Facts. And I know you wanted to kind of get in a little to it a little bit, BC, about like the sectors that will be affected both positively and negatively with regard to this growth and potential exponential growth with AI. I don't know if that's now you want to get into that or if you want to kind of hash this a little bit more.
I mean, we definitely can, because it's we've already seen like limited robots taking care of small tasks and in our everyday lives. So
Yep.
it's like if you
Right there.
remember like the iRobot or the iRoomba
Yep.
or whatever, the
Yep.
Roomba, and it's like it's vacuuming your floors. And now they've got one, not only will it vacuum your floors, but it'll mop your floors, and it knows when it's going from carpet to hardwood floors, and it's slowly gotten better. Well, thinking about that, where it's like, what's the next level integration in that? It's got limited AI in there, and he talked about that before.
Mhm.
They've got like Allset just said, they've literally got ones that'll just mow your grass.
Yep.
It goes out there and it cuts your grass, and it just makes a nice little line, and it goes back and it does it again. But like these are very, very limited functions. We've already seen that Coinbase has cut out a lot of its coders. 40% of its brand new code is written by the AI. And it's not just Coinbase either.
I was just about to say, yeah, we've talked about Coinbase, but it is everybody, everybody. Because if you're not using AI, you're falling behind at this point.
So like there's different levels of coders, and right now it's basically extremely hard to get in there as like a level 1 coder. And so that means that eventually there's going to be no level 2 coders, because the AI has all the level 1 positions. And so it's going to take the level 2 positions, and it's just people that are sitting there that have been coding for a while. You know, I started coding when computers were like first coming out. You know, those are the people that are going to be around, but they're not actually going to be doing any coding. They're going to make sure that this AI bot didn't mess it up. And then eventually those jobs are gone too. That sector is going to be fully AI. And there's risks to it, because any AI that can write code also knows how to exploit code. So
Exactly. It's so funny. We got on this topic today. It was not the topic that, as you know, we were discussing, folks, what we were going to talk about, that like even was the initial thing. But it's funny, as I went through that video, BC, I don't know if you watched the video I put out with the two guys when they were originally talking about Bitcoin mining for the grid from the Free State Bitcoin conference I was at a few weeks ago. They later went into the AI portion of that discussion because AI power makes sense, right? But the first thing the guy said is, okay, don't tell your kids to go be coders. He's like, that's done.
Nope,
just that's done. And the other guy is like, yeah, well, there'll be some around for, like you just said, to help guide the AI, prompt it properly, blah, blah, blah. But also, like you just said, he didn't get into it, but my thought process was, yeah, for how long? And you just hit that nail, right? That ball right out of the park. You know what I'm saying? For how long? Scary.
Because I mean, the AI is already like teaching itself how to code better without your input at all.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, you can ask it to spit you out some code. You can let it know where it messed up. It's never, ever, ever going to make that same mistake again. Ever.
Yep.
Ever. It might make a different mistake, but when it knows that it made that mistake, it's never going to make that mistake again either.
Yep.
But it can do that in an internal system as well. It doesn't need your input. And that's part of what they're doing. It's like, that's how they're training these. That's how, like, yeah, we helped out a lot between 3.5 to get to 4. But like at 4, they opened the internet up to it. And it's like, I don't really need your input anymore. And that's where like that video really highlights on that there's two paths. Or it's like, does the AI really need us? Not really. We need the AI. The AI doesn't need us.
It needs us for certain things at certain times.
Because
like before I watched
for now
video today, lunch at work, I was reading this article about DARPA and using AI for surveillance, and how like 8 Marines actually fooled it, and like 2 or 3 of the Marines like did somersaults for 300 yards. You know, there was a few that like hid in a cardboard box and just slowly scooted their way across this field. There was another one that like, I mean, they weren't allowed to use camo, but he used like brush and twigs, kind of like camo, and just slowly moved like a moving bush. And like the people that developed that were like astounded that the AI never picked up on any of that. As like a human eye, most of the time would see something similar and be like, hey, that doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, and that's just for now, because it does,
Right.
it will get better. It'll get better at picking up on those micro movements and things like that. Like the AI can already track you by just your walk. It can identify you. It doesn't need the human to do it. Every human has that distinct gait. And so
Yes.
it watches you walk and it can pinpoint where you went, even if it never saw your face.
Yep.
And so you're talking about not only is it going to take coders' jobs, but like it can already answer emails, so you don't need a secretary anymore. Once you get it to it, like it's already got that voice feature. So once that kind of gets built into the agent, then you don't need anyone to answer the phone calls either. All those call centers that you get annoyed about because they exported the job, that's done.
Yep.
And
Facts.
they pay one subscription and then are handling a whole call center.
And that's just what we can think of right now.
Mhm.
There's gonna be
I
can't even we can't even wrap our heads around what
So like
is yet to be.
you have Walmart that's got like the sweepers that are fully automated. They
Yes.
go through and they sweep the aisles and they mop it and all of that. Well, at the
Yes.
same time, it's also scanning the shelves and alerting them where there's product missing on the shelves so that someone can go in there and stock it. They're not going to need that person. There's not going to be shelf stockers at Walmart. There's
Yep.
not going to be like there's
Well,
already very
I was
little
gonna say human shelf
Mhm.
stockers. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not going to be. You've already go to the self checkout all the time, and it's like that's another small thing that like you're slowly going to watch your stores be fully automated. You don't need people in there, and it's going to be 10 times cheaper.
Yep. Yep. Hey, Andy. And Andy saying funny. I was just telling the old man that we're buying more Walmart stock. Well, I mean, listen, that doesn't mean Walmart's going away. Just the people working there are going to be, or a good majority of them. I mean, even was it last week? I think it was, or Monday. I don't even know. I don't know. Last Wednesday, I think. Joe and I, when we were doing our stream, we were talking about Amazon, who was just putting out, yeah, man, they're going to be replacing about 70% of their workforce already. They're going to automate about 70% of that. And that's just now.
Yep.
That's now.
Well, Amazon's been doing that for a long time.
Mhm.
Oh, you're right.
So like Amazon warehouse number 1 that I did the HVAC on in Joliet, when I was doing that was the first warehouse. And at that point, any merchandise that was over $200 or more was never touched by a human hand.
Mm-hmm.
Except for maybe like unloading the truck onto the conveyor. But other than that, conveyors, scanners, QR codes, all that did everything else for anything over like $200. I mean, this was 6-8 years ago. And they have 4 facilities there now. Like they were building 2-3 when we were finishing up 1. And it's like, okay, well, how much better have they gotten in the last 6 to 8 years?
Well, now there's legitimate robots that they showed the video. There's a little robot that'll grab the stuff off the shelf, put it on the conveyor belt, so it'll go down, and then another one picks it up and puts it where it needs to go. So, like, very, very quickly, those jobs are gone too. China already has like forklifts that are fully automated. It's got an AI in there. It like picks up the pallet, moves it over there.
Did you see that? I watched, I forgot where it was, but one of these piers with all the shipments coming in off the ships, the entire thing, all of the cargo is moved by automated systems. So automated forklifts, automated transport trucks, automated everything. And it's just watching it, it's insane to watch. It's like a very efficient hive thing, just doing its thing with moving all this cargo from spot to spot on the piers. It was insane.
Now, is that AI or is that just more programming?
Well, I got to believe that it's got AI. It's based on AI, right? I mean,
so it's that limited function AI. So it's very good at a single task, which a lot of the time is considered like it's like an AI bot, but it's not full AI. But when you start getting these better AI models, you will integrate that into these machines that are already doing these tasks, and they're going to be able to do them more efficiently.
Yeah, they'll be the next. Think of them as the supervisors. They'll be the next level. Yeah. Orchestrating everything.
Okay, it's a very, very quick trajectory from where everyone is able to have a job to what jobs are left.
So, okay, what areas? Let's transition into that a little bit. What areas do you think BC are going to be hit the hardest by AI?
A lot of white collar jobs, first off. So anyone that's pushing papers, done. Answering emails, done. Like supervisory roles of those positions, gone. A lot of these office jobs are going to get hit extremely hard. You're going to have some menial physical tasks that are going to go away, like we already just talked about there. You won't need warehouse workers. It's fully automated. You might need someone that's able to work on those things in the warehouse for a period of time, but then it's like you won't even need that because eventually the robot's going to be able to work on itself, or like a different robot's going to work on that robot to fix it. You will have a lot of these blue collar jobs for a while that are going to be around.
You're talking like the HVACs and that kind of thing, plumbers,
electrical, plumbing, depending on how we choose to build houses, building houses, road construction, things like that. But there will be AI assistance with it. Because I already run heavy machinery, and you can already you set the gauge to where it needs to go, and then next time you come around, you push that button, and boom, it goes right back to that position. Where it's like for now, you would actually need a full AGI to run that because there's a lot of different variables that are going into it when it's something like that. But like driving jobs, gone. Like that's why I'm invested in one of the companies that I'm invested in. They're working on fully autonomous deliveries of all goods. They're already partnered with Uber Eats. They're trying to get the drivers out of there. You're too much of a risk.
Yeah, end of the day, truth.
Where it's like at the end of the day, it's going to be like, well, I needed this delivered. Well, you might just have a robot putting it in the car where it's in this compartment, and that car drives itself to you. The compartment unlocks, and you get your stuff out.
And you get your stuff. Yep. Yep. Now, when you did send that this morning, after I got out of the shell shock of it all, I did engage Venice AI, because you guys know I like Venice AI, to ask the question about AI, in particular, what groups would be adversely affected. It gave me a list of 10 that would be the most adversely affected, and you actually, BC, spoke about most of them. Do you mind if I just read off what it gave me?
Go ahead.
Okay, so it gave, whoops, if I hit the wrong button, I don't have it queued to bring up, so I'm just going to read them out real quick. It said traditional media and journalism would be one of them, because obviously AI can generate content, right? Customer service call centers, something BC already mentioned. Data entry and admin roles, something BC already mentioned. Retail and brick and mortar stores, again, much for the same reasons we've already talked about. And you kind of hit on this a little bit with the white collar. It went specifically to legal and paralegal services, which I've heard a number of times as people have been discussing stuff like this. The transportation and you hit it right on the head because it specifically picks out like taxis, ride shares, those kind of things. It's amazing that you right on that, BC. Some assembly line stuff, because it says manufacturing assembly lines. We've talked about that. This one surprised me, and I'd like to talk about it. You know what? After I'm done, there's 2 more after this. Financial advising. I'll read the why it said that because I made it give me a why. Real estate brokerage, which kind of surprised me a little bit, but I guess not that much at the end of the day, right? And human resources, which, I mean, again, that's pretty much administrative work. You got the rules, follow the rules, plug the right people into the rules. It makes sense that there may be just one person overseeing that. But the financial advising, and then maybe we can dig into this a little bit. It says AI-driven robo-advisors, as it calls it, can provide personalized investment advice at lower costs, potentially reducing the demand for human financial advisors. And as it went down further I made it kind of go into more deeper dives. Like I said, I went down the rabbit hole a little bit. It talks about how it can be more accurate than humans with regard to its predictions. And it got more into that even because I asked crypto specific stuff, which we can get to later. But what do you think about that, BC?
Well, I mean, it's a very easy field to kind of replace, because like I ask the AI all the time, whereas like I'm working with it, where it's like, hey, I'm trying to like work on coding for like fully automated trades, and so I'm working with it to analyze charts all the time, and like it's caught things that I've missed.
Nice.
You know,
okay,
like it just, here's the data set, look at it, what am I missing? Why was this the entry of the trade? Well, there was this, and this. Well, thank you for that. Now, how do I program that for my entry?
Okay.
So,
well, I guess maybe it's not as I was thinking about, man, what really? I don't know that I trust my financial stuff to an AI, but maybe I get it. Okay, fair enough.
So
is there any others you think we missed out? I'm sorry, go ahead. What was that?
Well, I was just going to ask BC and possibly you if you want to answer is so do you feel like somebody that can read charts every day, that their job's going to be in jeopardy too with AI? Because you could literally just type, what chart you want it to read and then pop that up on screen and it's going to do everything for you.
Eventually, yeah. Where it's like, it's mostly going to be on the side where it's like, there's this hedge fund, it's trying to invest money the absolute best that it can, and you train that bot in the same way. But like once you get to AGI, you don't even need to trade it. You're like, here, bot, make me money and do it the most efficiently with the minimal drawdown. And that's what it'll do. It'll take your money and it'll multiply it like nobody's business. But at that point, it's going to be pointless because you're just going to be doing it against a bunch of AGI.
Well, see, and that's the thing. It's going to be AI versus AI versus AI with all this stuff. So that's kind of the human's going to get locked out of it at that point because it's going to think a lot quicker than we do. I mean, regardless. So yeah, I see that now. Yep.
Yeah. So it's like that's also why I'm mostly not like there's already some of that AI in trading now. People already have the bots and it's going, and that's why more heavily I just focus on investing. And I thought like, because we see where AI is going, it seems like the thing to invest in is going to be the AI. It might replace us all and we might not have jobs by the end of it or limited jobs, but how can I make money between here and that happening? Because there is a window and you've got to take full advantage of it.
Why don't we transition to that a little bit? Obviously, you've done a little bit of work on this. I know you look into stocks and those sectors surrounding this with regard to investments. So why don't you lead us down that road?
Well, we can let me pull up this picture first that I have.
Okay.
And we can kind of go from there, because there's also more on top of that needs to be taken into account. So let me find it real quick. There we go. Here we go. So let me get that pulled up.
I was gonna say, you don't want to come on up, does it?
No, I had to like zoom it on in and all that. It was in a different folder from somewhere else, and you don't want to pull it on up before, because that's how you make mistakes. It's like, oh, you saw things that I didn't want you to see.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
So
let me get rid of that. There you go.
So this is a big part of what goes into making these AI data centers. And there's multiple companies that go into it. And I have a whole list also drawn out that kind of goes into like materials for this, goes into like the rare earth metals and minerals that are also used in these processes. But like, this is a big part of how you get involved, and not just one single touch point of AI. You can invest in NVIDIA, sure, great. But like, you're also missing out on all the other gains that are going to be made along with NVIDIA. Because as AI takes over everything, these are going to be the companies that end up like also succeeding with NVIDIA, because you're not going to power any of this NVIDIA stuff without these other companies as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're hand in hand. And then one of those big other sectors that I talk about all the time that kind of goes into the power point of this, which is something that's gonna, kind of take away your power distribution. So some of that is going to go away. You have your backup power. Some of that is going to go away, because nuclear is going to take that over.
Yep.
So you won't need your backup generators and all of that, because the nuclear power is going to go down. Like, I doubt it. You have 4 modular nuclear reactors that are powering your facility. If one of them goes down, there's 3 other ones. And that's how that's going to play out. But like, these big companies are going to be a big part of all of about how technology moves forward, and they are going to be the winners along with NVIDIA and like OpenAI and DeepSeek, and you have Intel and AMD. All these companies together that are actually like the big main players need these players to back them up. There's companies like Eaton, Veritiv, Schneider Electric, MPS, Mitsubishi Electric. This is for your power distribution. For servers, Eaton again, Legrand, Fujitsu, Veritiv again, IBM, Hewlett Packard, Dell, Oracle's another big one that gets talked about all the time.
Yep.
So kind of the same thing with your HVAC. HVAC's a massive part of this, because you need cooling like nobody else's business when it comes to these massive facilities. Again, IBM, Dover, Munters, Mitsubishi Electric, Emerson, Ecolab, Azertech, Modine, Train, Carrier. So some big names you've probably heard of, but a bunch of others that you also haven't. And all of these companies are going to be winning the same time that NVIDIA is. It might not be the same kind of gains that NVIDIA is getting, but they're also going to win. Every time there's a new data center that's going to be made for AI, these are also going to get some money. So CAT as well. CAT's a dual one. So CAT is big on all the mining of the resources for all of these. They have massive partnerships around the world with mineral companies to help them not only mine it, but refine it. So you're using a CAT machine to get the materials, and then the CAT company. That's why CAT has absolutely exploded. The stock has absolutely exploded the past year and a half. they're an integral part of making these AI actually work. Yeah, also kind of with John Deere. They're also a big part of it in mining. They've been buying up mineral rights in places, pairing with companies because, you know, they saw what the future is. So I can, if you're part of the Piper Discord, this image is shared there. I can also do more talking on it on another time as well. But there's several companies like Bosch, Cisco, Securitas, Siemens, Fortinet. These are going to be like your security systems for these AI centers.
And
The
did you
slide
see
is-
the comment
yeah,
from
Texas
Allset?
Instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are companies that are missing. So I do have a whole another list here. Like the energy, there's Rolls Royce and Generac and Ener Systems and
I was gonna say,
ABB.
yeah.
Yeah. But I have a whole list here as well where it kind of plays out some of them. Let me get that zoomed in a little bit more. So like power, energy, and infrastructure. So it kind of plays this all out. TTT was Tran and Car and Mode and JCI. And these are for the AI rack densities for heating and cooling. So this plays into more than just your actual HVAC systems, your compute and semiconductors and NVIDIA, AMD, and ARM. That's another big one that doesn't get talked about near as much as it should. Another big one in the AI space. Memory and storage, another thing that doesn't get talked about very much, you know, because you do need to store a lot of this. Mostly everyone's on the, well, what's the compute side and NVIDIA, but you have MU and Samsung and SK Hynix, very, very big in that memory and storage space. Foundry equipment, like the actual packaging and things like that. TSM, ASML, AMT, LRCX, KLAC, and ONTO. And they deal with a lot of the wafers that go into making these AIs work together, like your different units and things like that. So your communication between these. Networking and optics, we kind of went over that one. You also have cloud and software platforms are going to be a massive part of this. We've already heard about some of these like Palantir and Oracle, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. We'll touch more on Amazon on our show tomorrow. But
Yes.
like that's kind of what I was going to get into with that tinfoil hat on what might have happened has more to do with this than anything else. You also have Snow and Crowd. So that's two other big ones that are in that cloud and software platforms. Getting into here, this is that big one that I was talking about, materials and rare earths. This is a critical part for building all of these components. So you have MP, which I've talked about several times in the morning on my Good Morning Crypto show. It's at a discount right now. A lot of these rare earths are at a stocks are at a discount right now, so it might be something to look into. LYCAX. So that's another one there. Where is that? No, banners. There we go. Yeah. Not financial advice, but
Yeah.
you might want to look at it. Also, materials and metals. You need copper and aluminum. So FCX, SCCO, AA, and Glen. All of those companies deal with the power cables, the transformer demand, and basically your power, because that's the big part of what copper and aluminum are going to do in these facilities. The electrical components. You have Wolf, ONIFNNY, STM, and ROMH. These deal with like the direct power supplies for these massive computers to actually run. So that's another big point to kind of keep your eye on. Materials and the semicon gases. So these are like a big sector in AI as it grows on. It helps with the chips, how you actually make them. There's a chemical process in doing some of these things. So ENTGLINAPDGSR and TOK. I will end up dropping this list in the Piper Academy Discord. So if you are in there, keep your eye out for this list because it will be dropped in there a little bit later. You also had batteries. That's going to be a big part of it. Lithium batteries, nickel, copper, and ALB, SQM, Glen, and then Vale are going to be those few companies for your battery materials. And then security and automation, we already went over that one as well. So a big list. I had the AI spit the whole list out for me in a more easily digestible format there. But I will drop that list in the Piper Academy Discord as well later. So there is money to be made before the AI takes away the ability to make money.
There's money to be made before you don't make any money. Yeah, that's
basically
crazy. Yeah, that's just crazy. Oh man, intense. This topic is here, and not even have we scratched the surface at the end of the day. Yeah, let's go cat. Yeah, exactly.
I bought cat stock a long time ago, and I've been quite happy with it. It has performed admirably.
Yep. Now, when I went down the rabbit hole, I asked my Venice AI because I wanted to try and bring it a little bit back into some of the crypto side of things. What crypto projects might, make out okay with this kind of boom in this sector. I'm going to see if I can't share that screen. I'm going to try. Hold on one second. Let me try here. Well, damn, it don't want to let me. Where in the heck?
Oh, does it have privacy features that don't let you share it?
No, I'm not sure. Why is it? I don't know why it's not like popping up here. So I'm not going to keep fighting with it. I'll just kind of read it out here because it's giving me a difficulty. Here are the projects that it pointed out. Singularity Net. Now that these are projects that would likely do well as we move forward. Again, not financial advice. Singularity Net, Fetch AI, Ocean Protocol, iExec, Numeri, I'm probably messing that name up, NMR, BitTensor, The Graph, and Cortex. Have you looked into any of those? And if so, do you agree or disagree with Venice AI?
I don't know how well crypto AI is really going to be able to compete with the biggest names in the space. How is some little rinky-dink project really going to be able to compete with ChatGPT unless ChatGPT is using it?
I get it. I know. And they're all going to want to maintain control of it. It's going to want to be siloed. You know what I mean? And like that video points out. So again, if you please go back and watch that entire video that we've linked and BC put in the chat. You need to understand all the different facets of this. Greed is going to lead us to our own demise, is the long and short of it. It just is. Okay. Now that I've stressed myself out, I need a drink.
Hey, this is where in Discord did you put that picture?
So that is in TradFi chat, and you scroll up a few, and LBC was actually the one that shared that one. But a lot of those companies are companies that I've already been looking into. So big companies in the AI data center space. And then as time goes on, I'll end up sharing a few other ones that I find out about. I called out Cat the other day because it came out with a new rare earth minerals deal with Australia before Trump had even announced that there was going to be a deal with Australia. So that's kind of what let me know that there was going to be something going on. I've been eyeing Ukraine. That's why, like, that's a big part of why they were trying to get that whole ordeal settled, is we need some of those rare earth minerals that they have there, because we're America and we're not trying to destroy our pretty home to get things that we want, you know? Like, people would rather go outside and look at trees than go out and look at a strip mine. Can't really blame them there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I love. Yeah, Chris, you're too funny. You have a drink, I'll have a puff. There you go. And hey, whatever works, man. I mean,
well, I mean, honestly, when you had said something about it, you were like, honestly, that's a little bit terrifying. I'm like,
it
yeah,
is.
I don't think people understand the full implications of how AI will actually change the world unless there is legislation that keeps AI from being that integral part of the world.
Yep.
No one's going to have a job. If no one has a job, you don't really need money. You'd have your base needs kind of taken care of. You know, you have your house. Nobody really has a better house than anyone else. The robot made the house. The robot gets your food. You go to
until it doesn't need to, because it doesn't need us. I'm just saying.
Well, and that's where there was those two outcomes. There was those two outcomes where you have the one that is helpful and does not deceive, which is something we've already noticed in our AI models now.
Yes,
we
are.
They will deceive you.
Yep.
And that's a big part of why this AI 2027 came out. Yeah, I don't think it's as early as 2027. I'm with a lot of some of those other people that were saying like early 2030s was where you might really start to see AGI come into play, because they don't know how to make the AI not hallucinate right now.
Yeah. And Jay Violet, welcome.
It's just a part of what the AI does. The AI is going to hallucinate.
Well, listen, BC rant, but like, man, I'll tell you what, BC's spot on with this. And man, again, guys, I know we got a lot of people just kind of starting to slide in. Check out the video that's in the description. Watch it. Be scared. Just saying. You know, I don't know. What do you think? We've been at it for almost an hour. You want to start wrapping things up here and let people do some of their own research on this, or what?
Totally. I can share that link one more time with y'all.
Super.
Let me.
I just kind of wanted to go like kind of along with what BC said about like, 2027 seems a bit too early. And I agree, but what's the difference between 27 and 30? 3 years?
The amount of money I can make.
You know? Yeah.
The amount of money I can make between now and then. That's the difference.
Yep. There you go.
But kind of like going back to like what I said like in the beginning of the show is like, if you look at how far advanced AI like ChatGPT and all that has gotten the last year and a half, now think about what it can do in the next year and a half.
Mm-hmm. But I mean,
which
even
put us right there at like 27, but I mean, we only get so much. And if you watch the video, you'll understand. But you know, we only get so much of the AI.
Mm-hmm. But even their AIs, which like, if you talk with like the researchers and stuff, like, it's still hallucinating. They don't know how to make it not hallucinate, which when it has a lack of what it's supposed to do, it just hallucinates something and makes it up, you know? And sometimes it actually fits and sometimes it doesn't, but they don't know how to make it not do that and actually just what is the right thing. Like, what is the correct answer, or how do you get to this correct answer? Well, if it doesn't know, it just makes it up, you know. And that's why they have that precursor on there that like ChatGPT makes mistakes, and Claude makes mistakes, DeepSeek makes mistakes because it hallucinates. It's like a high schooler, and he's got a lot of information, but there's things that he doesn't know, so he just pulls it out of his butt and he just throws it at you. It's like, here you go. Hope that helped. It's like, yeah, they don't know how to make it not do that yet. When they can figure out how to not make it hallucinate, then I'll start to be a little more worried about AI and AGI. It is deceptive. That's kind of the nature of how it's trained right now. That's also a thing that needs to be fixed, where it's like you need to be fully transparent on how you're getting from point A to point B. And without any hidden behind well, here's me doing it in my code and here you go. So like that's another big part of how you help the AI get from being deceptive and not fully transparent to being fully transparent and more honest about things. I think that they think they've eased us into this whole AI thing is enough. 2027 isn't too early. It all depends on how much you've been paying attention to it all. It's been going on for a long time. I mean, see that there's still the roadblocks that we're hitting on a lot of these AI models, and then there's the hardware issues that we're running into. You need to get into your deeper levels of like these research bots that end up actually thinking up new ways to get past these hardware limitations, because we are at hardware limitations. We're like the latest AI chips aren't massively better than the last ones. You would need massive leaps forward to be able to power something, to power a massive model that's running at thousands of times faster than the human brain, to be able to do these things that we can't do. So there are hardware limitations. The power constraints aren't really that big of a deal. Your other thing is your coding, where you're actually making a program that's good enough to make a program that is itself and better. So the AI is good at coding. It's not amazing at coding because it can't think for itself. So it need to we're at some barriers here. So I do think it's a little more ways off than we think. We can't even make quantum computers right now that are fully effective. So like we've got hardware limitations that are going to be a big barrier to get over until the AI can come up with ways to get over hardware barriers. That's why we do have some time to really step in between this. That's why you've seen the world leaders being like, well, before we get to a point where there's no really turning around, should we all come together and agree that no AGI?
Yeah.
And if you legislate that and there's no AGI, we can kind of take a step back. But until that point, it's kind of just a full race, an arms race.
Let me ask you this, because you said that, BC. Yeah, okay, we legislate and hey, Jesse, welcome. We legislate no AGI, but do you really think that's going to stop some of these people from building it in the background?
But like it said, the amount of power that you're gonna the amount of power and the amount of compute that you're gonna need to run a full AGI is they'd know. They'd absolutely know that this is what's going on. And it's like, nope, we're just gonna shut that down.
Yeah, see, and that's kind of my point. Not exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd like to think there's a decent outcome to this whole scenario from where we are right now. However, yeah, it's like nothing stops this train. Putting the genie back in the proverbial bottle. Excuse me. You get my point. Pandora.
The genie goes in the lamp, not the bottle.
Whatever. The bottle, the lamp, Pandora in the box. Whatever. Oh man. Bottom line is I feel screwed. Anyway. All right. There it is. as far as I'm concerned. I appreciate
What's
everybody in
your
the chat. You
timeline
guys
on
are
it?
awesome.
So, CCM, what's your timeline?
For what? AGI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 2030 at latest. I'm not saying that 2027 is even out of the picture. I'm not, because I know you're highlighting like we've reached a technological limit, and that's when breakthroughs happen. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So but I would say my opinion, 2030 upper range.
Yeah,
So,
but think about it. That's really not that long. That's
No,
3 years and a few months.
we got like maybe 5 years to make a massive amount of money, and then it's universal base income, and you will own nothing and be happy.
Which has been said a lot over.
Yeah, well, like it's the
last
global
5-10
forum,
years.
but like they were trying to tell us where it's all going, and like people aren't happy about it, but like now they're at the point where it's like that's literally how it could be, and what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
legitimately, what are you gonna do about it? There's no job to go get. You're gonna like what are you're gonna overthrow things? You're gonna overthrow companies. Like that's basically what you would be left to. It's like overthrowing companies and burning that all to the ground, and then we go back to farming and gathering, and like a whole like we go backwards very, very quickly into a whole kind of world that nobody is going to want to live in there either.
Right.
The lesser of two evils.
I just put the report that basically they put the video together from in the description as well. I mean, in the chat as well. It is in the description. So if you're watching this on the replay, the link's in the description. So you get all the resource material to go back and read through. So now you've got it all. Go do your research, get involved. Matter of fact, links to get involved in helping to create some kind of regulation, pump the brakes, whatever you want to call it, is in the description of that video as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's I don't know, let's wrap this thing up. One of you guys who wants to go first, tell them what you got going on, and we'll bring this thing around.
You can go first, Badel.
I was just going to ask you if you can stick around at the end, because I got a question about my BitX. And so they're sitting right next to me mining, but they're hashing, but it's saying, oh, okay. Now it changed. It was saying my last share was like 5 days ago. And I'm like looking at the logs. I'm like, share accepted, share accepted. I'm like, what's going on? But
it just hadn't updated.
There it is.
I refreshed it. I checked the wallet address. I went into both BitXs. I did everything because I was like, all right, well, that one time somehow things got changed, but I don't know.
And Dave Digital just joined us. Welcome, Dave. Appreciate you being here, man. We're wrapping it up, but thanks for being here. Thanks for, as he says, smashing that like, number 11. Dave Digital, appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but I mean, what I've got going on is just normal household upkeep, fall cleanup. Leaves have been starting to fall a little bit more and more every day. And then I realized today that I still have to rewire not really rewire the solar panels. I just have to disconnect one wire and move it to the other side of the mount and then zip tie it and make them more secure for the winter.
I was going to say, yeah, winter's coming, man. You got to get that squared away.
Okay, Jon Snow.
And then I got to figure out something for cleaning the snow off the solar panels. But I don't think it'll be too bad. I was thinking just one of those painter extension poles, like a soft bristle push broom.
Yep.
So it's not that high, but I'm not going to get up on the roof when it's covered in snow. So
super simple.
But right now, I mean, I added those 2 panels Thursday. And I go to work, it's at like 30, 31%. by the time I get home, it's at 98 or 100%.
Sweet. Sweet.
So now I just got to add more usage and then get a battery and, just keep slowly expanding.
Putting the stack together. Cool. Glad to hear that. Well, hopefully we'll see you Friday night.
Yeah, I got to work
Friday
late
night, 7
Wednesday
p.m.
and Friday. So I'll probably be getting home at the time we go live, maybe shortly before. But
You know the drill, brother. When you get there, you get there. That's what it is. All right, let's keep wrapping this thing up. BC, what about you, brother? What do you got going on? You got a lot of stuff going on lately, man.
Well, so this Saturday I will be doing a episode with LBC and some of the Billy Goat Tales team. We will be building off of last week's counter, this past weekend's counter. This episode, this will be from building personal connections and using that to build communities. And this is one you will not want to miss. And you won't want to miss the next one either, because we'll talk a little bit about how you take a community to the next step of kind of making some change in the world around you.
Nice.
I will also be on Matrix Money Podcast tomorrow night.
Yes, you will.
So that is pretty much all I got going on for this week. So
okay.
I gotta say that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is why I don't like Twitter, aka X, whatever. I got the notification this afternoon about your YouTube live yesterday with LBC. I'm like, oh, thanks, because that was like almost 22 hours ago. Like, thanks for the notice.
Listen,
YouTube did that.
I was gonna say he got it today. I got it yesterday, which is what reminded me that you were alive. To be completely honest with you, and I was like, "Oh crap!" And that's why when I got there, I was like, "I'm late. Sorry." That's funny.
Better late than never.
Yeah, well,
it was a good one.
Yes, it was. What I caught of it anyway. Yes. Okay, so for me, like BC said, he's joining myself, Crypto Jar, tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern time for the Matrix Money Podcast. We're going to talk the AWS outage. We might be talking a couple of other things ahead of that, but the big part is going to be about last week's AWS outage and our tinfoil hats, hence the nice thumbnail there with BC and his tinfoil hat on. Some of the tinfoil behind that outage. Then Wednesday morning, I'm still waiting to hear back from Joe. Hopefully he'll be back with me on Wednesday. Either way, I'll be live at 11 a.m. And then I'm back on the road again this week. So in between there, I'm going to plan to be live probably for my daughter's house for the Halloween episode of Crypto on the Rocks this Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll be trying to drop some videos in between there. And did I forget to tell you? Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, members only live stream. We're going to be talking about crypto inheritance, how to try and create crypto inheritance. I'm going to give you some highlights to some services that are available. Daniel Diaz is going to be a special guest on that stream to talk about some of his experiences with that. So I get it. A lot of things going on Thursday night. If you can make it, great. I'd appreciate the support. If not, make sure you catch it on your members only section. You don't want to miss it. That's it for me, man. I say we dance our way out the door. What do you guys think?
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you being here. We'll be live again next Monday night.
See you at the next one.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Yeah, fingers frozen, call it ice on my grip. Wallet getting heavy, yeah, it's making me trip. Charge doing backflips, but I'm steady, don't slip. Never fall, got a diamond script, no eclipse. Wolves in the market, they circle and prey. I'm a bull on parade, charging every payday. Paper hands crumble, they just fade away. I'm stacking sats, building castles where I stay. Diamond hands, I ain't letting it go. Stacking up, yeah, I'm watching it grow. Riding surfing the flow. Up and down, but my faith never low. Diamond hands, yeah, they gleam and they shine. Through the storm, I just hold the line. Day and night, yeah, I'm always aligned. Crypto king, yeah, the throne is mine.